This is an invitation to do a guided sitting meditation practice for the mindfulness course you are doing. By playing the CD and doing this practice, remember that you are taking an active step to improving your health and well-being. Seeing this as a time for you, a time for simply being, moving away from the busyness of life and switching to a mode of non-doing. Taking the time now to check in with your body and make sure that your body is comfortable and supported in the way you have chosen to sit. And as you come to your cushion or chair, or whatever you're sitting on, having a definite sense of taking your seat, with a strong sense of honoring your body and mind and the practice you are doing, sitting in a way that embodies dignity. Starting by bringing your awareness to your posture, moving your awareness to those parts of the body that are in contact with the ground, your feet or your knees touching the floor, your buttocks and the seat. Really becoming aware of the contact of your body with the solid ground, feeling a sense of your weight going down, connecting you to the earth. Then moving your attention to the base of your spine, perhaps imagining a thread running through your spine, running all the way up the spine to the neck and out of the crown of your head. And imagining that this thread is suspended from the sky above, gently allowing you to grow tall, just naturally aligned, tall, uplifted. And now just allowing your front, your chest and belly to become open and softened, open to everything. Allowing your eyes to close, if that's comfortable for you. Or if you prefer, allowing your open eyes to gaze with a soft focus ahead of you. So a slightly out of focus gaze. And then checking that your shoulders are relaxed, allowing them to drop without slumping, having your hands resting softly on your thighs or in your lap, and having your chin tucked in slightly, checking that your face and jaw are relaxed. And now becoming aware of your breathing, becoming aware of the sensations of the in-breath and the out-breath, and choosing where the breath feels most distinct or vivid for you, maybe at the nostrils or the back of your throat, feeling the cool air coming in and the warmer air going out, seeing if that's true for you. Or maybe your chest area, feeling the chest expanding and falling as you breathe. Or perhaps moving all the way down to the abdomen, the belly, and following the breath there. Maybe noticing the rising of the abdomen as the breath comes in and the falling back as the breath leaves your body. And as best you can, being with that very direct experience of breathing and the sensations of breathing, rather than thinking about breathing. Just letting the breath breathe itself. Not changing the flow of the breath in any way, and noticing if there's a tendency for the mind to want to control or manipulate the breath in any way. And as best you can, letting go of this tendency, allowing the breath to be as it is. Just noticing, becoming curious about the breath, exploring it, tasting the breath. Just this breath, all the way in and all the way out. Noticing the qualities of the breath. Is this breath deeper or shallower? Is this breath fast or slow? Each breath unique from the one before. So noticing the uniqueness and the qualities of each breath. The texture, being curious, moment by moment. Following the breath all the way in and noticing the moment when it turns around to go out. Noticing that small gap between the in-breath and the out-breath, and between the out-breath and the in-breath. At some point you may notice that the mind has wandered away from the breath. Maybe become involved in a thought, perhaps a daydream, planning, fantasizing, or whatever. As you become aware of this, just noticing where the mind has gone and very gently, kindly, but firmly, bringing the mind back to the breath, back to this breath in this moment. Knowing that it's perfectly normal for our minds to wander. It is simply what they do, so not seeing this as a fault or a problem in any way. And not giving yourself a hard time when the mind wanders off, but instead just noticing where it has gone, and as best you can without judging yourself or your mind or the thought, simply coming back to the breath. Not trying to keep the mind from wandering, which is impossible anyway, but with gentleness to yourself, having a firm intention to simply keep returning to the breath each time you become aware that the mind has wandered, and congratulating yourself in that moment for noticing that you are fully awake, aware, and present. full cycle of your breath to be your anchor, a safe and trustworthy place that is always with you, a place to come back to whenever the mind wanders or whenever you experience any intense sensation or emotion. Riding the waves of the breath as they rise and fall, moment by moment. And now choosing to move on with this practice, or pausing and stopping at this place. So now if you are choosing to move on, expanding your awareness around the physical sense of the breath to include and encompass all the sensations in the whole of your body as it sits here breathing. Keeping an awareness in the background of the movement of your breath in the chest or abdomen, or wherever it is that you are following it. Moving your primary focus to the sense of the body as a whole, and to the changing patterns of sensations throughout the whole body sitting here. As if the whole body were breathing. And then still keeping an awareness of this wider sense of the body as a whole with the breath moving in and out. And becoming aware of a more focused pattern of physical sensations in your body. Perhaps a sensation of touch or pressure, perhaps the sense of contact of your knees on the floor, or of the buttocks on the chair or cushion, or maybe sensations of warmth or coolness, tightness or looseness, or a feeling of air on exposed skin. Sometimes an awareness of the whole body sitting here, or sometimes specific sensations in certain parts of the body. And as best you can, holding all these sensations together with the sense of the breath and the body as a whole in a wider sense of awareness. Allowing the body to be as it is, as sensations arise, linger, and disappear. Anytime you notice that your mind has wandered off, just noticing where it has gone and bringing it back kindly and gently, without judgment, to the breath and to the sense of your body as a whole, and recognizing that each time you notice your mind has wandered off, it is a fresh moment of awareness. And then, as best you can, returning gently to the attending to the actual sensations throughout the body, from one moment to the next. Some calling loudly, and some just a whisper. And from time to time you may notice an intense sensation which draws your attention again and again, away from your focus on your breath and the body as a whole. It could be a physical sensation like pain, perhaps in your back or your knees, an itch. Or maybe a recurring restlessness. If you find your awareness repeatedly drawn to some intense sensation, then you have a number of options of how you can work with this. One option is to move and readjust your body to ease the intensity. And if this is what you choose to do, then moving with a sense of mindfulness, so including this in your mindfulness practice. Noticing the thoughts around the movement, the intention to move. Then as you move, notice the experience of moving and the effect it has on the discomfort or the restlessness. Then bring your attention back to the breath and the body as a whole. Another option is not to move, but to stay still while you experience with turning towards the discomfort, the pain or restlessness, or emotion, or whatever it is. Not trying to change it, but as best you can staying with it, with a sense of gentleness and awareness. Finding where it is in the body and exploring it, turning towards it, and moving up as close to it as you can. So whether it's a physical or mental discomfort, gently taking your awareness to that edge where your comfort begins to be challenged, and just staying there. Exploring it with gentleness. Maybe breathing into it and out of the area, using your breath to carry your awareness to it, helping to give it a sense of spaciousness, and on the out-breath, softening into it and around it. And then exploring what precisely is the sensation. What exactly does it feel like? Where is it? Does it move, change? Does it come and go? Is it getting stronger? Weaker? Is there a color or shape to this discomfort? Not so much thinking about this, but feeling the sense of it. Perhaps noticing your relationship with this discomfort. Is there a tensing around it, bracing or holding? Seeing if it's possible to soften around it and let go of the resistance with it. Just be with it, open to it. Softening to it all. And then at some point, perhaps when the discomfort fades, coming back to an awareness of your breath or to the body as a whole. If the discomfort doesn't subside, making a decision as to whether to remain with the discomfort, to explore it, or whether to return to the breath. In either case, being fully present with yourself as you are, moment by moment, non-judgmentally. And now letting the breath and the body as a whole move into the background of your awareness and moving your attention to your ears, to sound and hearing. Just being aware of sounds arising, coming closer and fading away. Just receiving sounds in front of you, behind you, to the left, to the right, above you and below you. Sounds near and sounds far, and maybe sounds in the body. To the best you can, letting go of judgments around sounds, opinion, like, dislike. And if you notice this, as best you can, noticing where your mind is gone and coming back to the direct experience of sound, arising, lingering, and fading away. Seeing if you can bring a curiosity to the quality of sound. What is the pitch? Is it high or low? Strong or weak? Sharp or dull? Continuous or intermittent? Experiencing sound versus thinking about sound. Becoming aware of the spaces between sound, of silence, and the space out of which sound arises, into which it disappears. To the best you can. Every time you notice your mind has wandered, just noticing where your mind has wandered to, and then bringing it back gently but firmly to receiving sounds as they arise, linger, and pass away. And now letting sound fade into the background of your awareness and turning your attention to thoughts that may be present in your experience now. Noticing if these thoughts are about the future or the past. Do they have a certain quality about them? Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they judging thoughts, criticizing thoughts, and maybe thoughts about thoughts? Seeing if you can be open to the thoughts that arise naturally in your consciousness, noticing them as activities of the mind, neutral events that arise, stay for a while, and then pass away. Seeing if you can let go of judgment of what it is here and just observing this space in the mind, and perhaps noticing a pause in the stream of thoughts. Some thoughts can be charged in different ways. Some thoughts are relatively neutral. We may experience some thoughts as positive and some as negative, some sticky or fleeting. What is the quality? Seeing if it is possible to just observe the thought that arises just as thought. Noticing and noting their quality and just letting them go. without becoming involved in the thought or the content of the thought, noticing and noting them as neutral events that pass through your consciousness. If you discover that instead of observing them, you become involved in the content of the thought, pay attention to where you are, and then kindly and deliberately returning your attention to just observing the activity of the mind once again. You may find it helpful to imagine your mind is like the spacious blue of the sky, and thoughts are like clouds appearing in the sky. Sometimes they are thin and wispy, sometimes they are thick and dense, full of meaning, and sometimes large and black. Sometimes they seem to cover the entire sky. Whatever size and shape, each simply appears and passes by in the spacious blue of the sky, and then eventually disappears. The clouds are not the sky, as the thoughts are not your mind. And noticing how, like clouds and like thoughts, emotions too arise and come into your awareness and naturally disperse in their own time, leaving the sky, like the spacious clarity of your mind, untouched. And if strong emotions or thoughts that are continually pulling you away, intense thoughts, come into your experience, and then just remember that you can use the breath as an anchor to bring you back to the present moment. A home base, a safe haven. The breath is always with us. And now expanding your attention so that it includes the body as well. Just being with whatever is arising moment by moment. Sensations, thoughts, feelings, and letting the attention move freely. Sitting in the stillness and spaciousness, allowing whatever arises to simply come and go. Being present with it all, and allowing it all to be just as it is. Being awake, aware, and present with a spaciousness, room for it all. And now, during the last few moments of the meditation, bringing your attention back to the sensations of the breath. Once again, at the place that you experience the breath most clearly right now. Letting your attention rest here right now. And now perhaps thanking yourself for taking the time to be with yourself in this way, and seeing if you can let this feeling be with you. Moving now into the activities of your daily life. Opening your eyes when you feel ready, and coming back to the room in your own time.